Hey there everyone, thank you for tuning to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys what I have going on here. I have a problem with the engine running, but the fan is not spinning and the belt is just gliding through the pulley of the fan. And what happened is the bearing here is done. See, it's done. So if you can see, there's a whole bunch of shaving here. I took off this unit. You can see the shaving behind the walls. So I'm about to replace it, but to get there, it's a little bit tricky. So first step I would say you do is you remove these 4 bolts right here that holds the fan, which is this part right here. You see this? Okay. These 4 bolts. Once you take that out, then you go ahead and release or remove these bolts that holds this fan cover right here. All 4. And then you remove everything out in one pace. But of course, that has to be done after you remove this hose. Okay? So anyways, you remove the hose, remove those 4 bolts right there, and then remove the other 4 bolts that holds the cover. And then once you get to that, this is where you're at. You remove all these other bolts right here that holds this cover. But once you get that removed, you can notice you're gonna have it nice and loose, but it will not come out because this unit is right here. See this right here? This bolt right here is pinned down to this here. So there's no way you can move this out without moving these 2. So in order to move these 2, if you look at the tip, it's a star shape, which is this. I will show you guys. Right here. So I use this unit here. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly, but it looks like this. Okay, right there. So this is a E6. Okay, that's the size. So once we get to there, we're gonna go ahead and move this cover. Once I remove the cover, I will show you guys what is the next step. All right, back. So this is what we do. Like I said earlier, once you remove those 2 bolts right here, you can remove this cover. Okay, once you remove this cover, all right, I set that aside right there. You could then eventually remove 1, 2, 3, which is a nut right here, and there's another one right behind here. See this one I'm touching right now? That is to hold the power steering here where you tension. So you release this. If you look at this, I'm gonna release it right now. I just put it here just so that I could show you guys a little example of what is what. So I release that, and then you will then release this one here. Of course, like I said earlier, there was a nut here, which is this one right here, which is a 14 millimeter. And then you remove this unit up here, this bolt. Once you remove all this piece right here should slide out. It's what's blocking this from taking out the fan bearing. So once you have this piece out, you can set that on the side, and then you go ahead and remove this, and this down here. There's a bolt down there. Okay, let me go ahead and remove the bolt right there, and go ahead and remove this bolt right here, and then remove this nut right here. And then that's it. So once you move it out, it should be able to slide out. After you clear all the belts, you should be able to slide out. Oh, one thing. This is the AC belt. In order to release this one, there's a, you see why I'm pointing my finger with this clear spot right here? You could come from that side right there with a 14 millimeter socket, and then there should be a bolt in there that you could release it to where you could loosen the tension. Once you loosen that, you still have to come right here and loosen this bolt right here, just so that the tension could be free and move. And then you can remove the belt. Once you remove that belt, then you can remove this unit here. Okay, and just like this, you slowly kind of just work your way out. Sometimes you get stuck because see, like over here, this piece right here is in the way. Okay, so you have to kind of just work it out. earlier I took it out. I just thought that let me put it right back in so that people could see exactly how it looks like. Right there. Got it. And that is how it looks like once you take it out, okay? So make sure you put a little marking on your timing. You see I put a little black permanent marker right there. 2 lines over here just to make sure that I don't lose my timing. But of course, that's the timing tensioner. And the unit to tension that is already out here, which, you know, is this right here. And to know that it's good, it should not be able to be pressed down by your hand. And that's how it is. So we'll go ahead and put that on later once we get the new piece. But yep, that's how you get to it. It's not too bad. It's my first time. Gotta take a little bit of time to really look at how everything kind of connect. But yeah, it is what it is. So right now, I'm about to remove this unit here because it's still good and use it. Alright, and then I'll hit you guys back on the next video once I got everything all back installed and ready to go and fire it up. Alright, thanks. Alright, so now we already have the parts. I'm ready to put this unit back in. I inspect the seal. It looks good. This is a longer process. It takes anywhere about 5 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. It depends on, you know, how you feel. But averagely, it should take you about 5 minutes to slowly press it in. If it goes any faster than that, you could, by any chance, you know, busted the seal. But at any time doing this, I'm compressing using my vise right here. But at any time you're doing this and you notice that there's hydraulic fluids coming out, then this tensioner cylinder right here will be bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and compress this in, get it going, and then when that's done, we'll go ahead back to the vehicle and hopefully we can get it going before the night falls. Alright, so again, this is the timing tensioner. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have it all nice and pressed in. The cylinder, if you really look at it, let me open it. You can see the shaft goes all the way from one end almost out the other end. So now I have this locked in place. It took me about, I don't know, I slowly did it. It took me about maybe 7-8 minutes, but it depends. If you're very good at it, maybe faster. So we're gonna go ahead and get things rock and roll. Alright, so this will be the new unit here, and this is gonna be my timing tensioner. So as you guys can see, I use a hanger, you know, and I turn that into a so-called homemade DIY custom whatchamacallit, grenade puller. And we're gonna go ahead and put it right there. Set that right there. Set it to a position where it's ready to pull out. Okay, and then now let me just grab the nuts right here. Oh, the bolts. Nuts. The bolts. Put 2 of these bolts in. Making sure that, you know, the bolt goes in. And then tie it up. So I got it in. It was kind of, this is the tensioner cylinder. It was a little bit rubbing this bracket here. Kind of just had to push it back, but I was able to get it in. Of course, it has those 2 bolts right there to align it. And then as you can see behind here, that's where the tensioner is pressing against here for this tensioner pulley right here. So once I bolt these in, I'm gonna go ahead and release this grenade pin and test the timing. So if we look closely, this is where the mark I mark before I take the unit apart. Down here, before I take this down here apart, hopefully nothing moves. So far nothing moves, you know, the whole time. The timing's still nice and tight. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this is what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. As you can see, this new unit, it spins freely, you know, nice and freely. smooth. Okay, so that's good. So I already locked the bolts, nuts, tighten it in, and of course confirm that this is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull out this unit right now. Okay, I hope I could do it without breaking my hand. There you go. That's release. This is my hanger, homemade custom grenade puller. So that is about it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this here for now. And then, yeah, so now that's it. We got everything in. We're gonna next put back this bracket that I was talking about earlier right back into this own spacing over here. And you know what? We're gonna get ready to rock and roll. Alright. So got done a little bit late last night. It was a little bit dark. Right now I'm kind of follow up with the movie video. So as you guys can see, I got all the belts hooked up, brand new belts. Fan is working. You know, put more radiator fluid in there. I mean, it's good to go. Rock and roll, rock and roll. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, so, like I said, easy step. Step number one, you remove the bolts that holds the fan to the fan bracket, bearing bracket unit, the 4 bolts. Once you remove that, you remove the fan cover so that you could pull out the fan and the cover at the same time out. Once you do that, you don't really have to loosen the power steering or the alternator to remove its belt. You can just grab those 2 individual pulleys and kind of slide it right out, and it will just drop right away. And then when you're done with that, you will want to go ahead and remove, of course, this unit up here with those 2 number 10mm socket right there. Once you remove the socket, remove that top bracket, you want to remove those 2 bolts that hold it. Because right after that, you're going to remove the cover, this black cover right here. So once you remove this black cover, it has like maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 bolts. Once you remove that, all the bolts you can slide out because you already have to remove these 2 right here. These right here. Okay? And then once you slide that out, then you could go ahead and remove that 1 bracket right there. If you can see my finger pointed right there, it's that nut and bolt right there. There's that bracket, it has 4 bolts. And then once you remove that one, you can go ahead and remove all the bolts that are holding the bearing bracket, the fan bearing bracket. There's like 4 bolts also. And then when you remove that bracket, you pull it right out. And you will notice that the timing tensioner will pop out. And then you will go ahead and buy a new bracket. And then, I mean, of course, I recommend if you could buy a new timing tensioner, but if you couldn't afford it for whatsoever reason, you can go ahead and press that in with like a C clamp or the vice clamp. But you know, take your time to press that tensioner. It take about 5 to 10 minutes. It depends on how careful you want it to be to make sure you don't mess up the seals. And then you put in the grenade lock pin in it. It will have host to align that. Once you got that all pressed in with a grenade lock pin in, put on the new unit, and then you could bolt in the new unit, the new bearing bracket unit for the fan, and then you could put in the timing tensioner in it, and then remove the then you could go ahead and remove the the grenade pin, of course, and then start putting everything back in. So on this project, I was supposed to work on just that bracket unit, the bearing bracket for the fan, But I decided to go ahead and change all the timing belt. I mean, all not timing belt, but all the other belt because they're all dried up looking and stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. If you guys have any questions, you guys can leave in the comments below, and I'll answer you, you know, as soon as I get to it. But I decided to do this video again because I don't see nobody do it on these 4Runner. So, you know, this is for you guys out there. Hope it helps. If you guys have more questions going into detail, let me know. Alright, peace out.